The church bells toll, slow, heavy, echoing through narrow streets lined with timber and smoke. You step outside, and the air is thick with fear. Not just fear of war or taxes, fear of something you cannot see. A plague, a fever, a cough that spreads faster than prayers. And yet, right there, painted on the walls of the church, is death himself, not as a shadow or a monster, but as a skeleton, grinning, mocking, dragging peasants, nobles, and even kings into a wild dance. Why, in an age surrounded by suffering, would people laugh with death instead of hiding from him? If you want more stories like this, walk with us. Subscribe and don't miss the next step into the past. You walk past the market square. Merchants sell charms carved from bone, tiny crosses and pouches filled with herbs, each promised to keep death at bay. But look closer at the church wall. A mural stretches across stone, its paint cracked but still vibrant. It shows death, not picking favorites but clutching the hands of everyone. The bishop, the farmer, the knight in gleaming armor, even the child clinging to his mother's skirt. This was the Danse Macabre, the dance of death. A cultural phenomenon that began appearing in Europe around the 14th and 15th centuries, especially after the Black Death had wiped out nearly half the continent. Here's the strange part. It wasn't painted to terrify. It was painted to remind. The message was simple and brutal. Death spares no one, rich or poor, pious or corrupt. You'll join the same dance. And sometimes people literally danced. In certain towns, processions were held where actors dressed as skeletons led villagers through the streets playing flutes and drums. Historians still debate whether these events were solemn rituals, carnivals, or a grim sense of humor gone medieval. At first glance, it feels morbid. Who mocks the very thing everyone dreads? But step back and think, isn't there freedom in facing what you cannot escape? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "You may leave this life at any moment. Regulate every act and thought accordingly." The people who painted skeletons on church walls understood that. By laughing at death, by dancing with him, they stripped away his power. Think about modern life. We cover up age with filters. We avoid speaking of mortality as if silence can protect us. But the medieval villager? He stared the skull straight in the eyes and said, "Fine. If you're coming for me, I'll dance before you take me." It's the same reason some people today skydive, run ultra-marathons, or joke about their own hardships. By meeting fear head-on, you shrink it. And here's the twist. The murals weren't only about death. They were about life. Because if everyone, king and beggar alike, must join the same dance, then every sunrise, every laugh in the tavern, every embrace of a child is infinitely precious. The skeleton's grin wasn't just mockery, it was a reminder. You do not control how many steps you get, but you control how you spend them. Do you stumble, bitter and afraid? Or do you move boldly, knowing the music always ends, but dancing anyway? So what does the dance of death whisper to you, standing centuries later? That death is not the enemy. Fear is. That the way to live well is not to deny the inevitable, but to embrace it. And that your days, whether 1,000 or only a few, are meant to be spent fully, not hoarded like coins in a chest. Here's one practical way to carry this lesson. Tomorrow, when you catch yourself hesitating, waiting for the perfect time to act, to speak, to start, remember the skeleton's bony hand. He taps his foot, the music plays. The only step that matters is the one you take now. Because whether in the 15th century Europe or the 21st century scrolling through a screen, the truth is the same. We are all in the dance. And if you must dance with death, you may as well lead. Walk with us again, traveler. Next time, another hidden corner of the past awaits, a tale of knights, fools, and wisdom carved in shadows. Until then, walk steady, burn slow, and leave your footprints where they matter.